Netanyahu said in a statement today that this was a tragic mishap.
Yeah, I think they said also 6 terrorists were killed in the attack.
Total BS.
We've heard. How do you know?
I know it's BS because of the IDF's internal documents, which indicate that 83% of the people killed there happen to be civilians.
That there weren't any terrorists.
I'm not going to sit here.
I don't really know how Scott Jennings is. I have to remember which channel. But I don't really know how Scott Jennings can make any excuses for this. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to this channel. And on this clip, we're going to watch Anna Kasparian clash with Scott Jennings extremely bold and hard. And Anna Kasparian has had enough. She can't take the lies. I don't even know how he sits there and smiles. Obviously, you see my position on this. But we are going to watch Anna Kasparian take down Scott Jennings. And yes, I do call it taking down Scott Jennings in this clip. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
And regurgitate the lies from the Israeli government as they're conducting a genocide. I kind of got into it with Scott Jennings on Abby Phillips's CNN show last night, and I kind of wanted to revisit some of these moments, some of the highlights. Before we get to the first clip, any thoughts on that fiery moment?
Just the guy's smugness of how do you know? Again, they've released their own internal stats that claim that 8,800 of the deaths are confirmed Hamas fighters, when we know all they do to confirm that you're a militant is that you're over the age of 16. Okay?
And you're a male, yeah.
So we know that it's probably much lower. They've been just killing people indiscriminately. Let's be generous and say it's a third lower. I'm willing to say that it's probably 2/3 if we're being honest, but let's just say it's a third lower than that. That means the civilian casualty rate is higher than 83%, Anna. That means it's 88%, 89%, 90%. That's so when we know that's already their civilian casualty rate, and you come here and tell me that they done tripled it on this kill, that they've tripled their accuracy rate for killing Hamas, that they've done the whole war, nonsense.
Yeah, not only that, here's the thing. When it comes to something as significant as taking people's lives, killing them, I'm going to need a little more than a notoriously deceptive military telling me, oh, they were militants.
And I mean, that is so true, right? So, and by the way, guys, for anybody who is watching, thank you for watching. Please don't forget that the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. I decided to put my face on this channel because I'm looking at the comments and where's Justin? And why don't you put your face in the dress? Is Justin's still around? Justin's making all the final decisions. All right. I'm just helping out. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I'm not some DI black chick that's just leftist or whatever. But I won't continue to say this on every video. But anyway, but this is one topic that I do agree with the left on, if you will. I think, I don't know, somewhere close to 2 years from now of this, what's been going on in Gaza, that people can finally say, I think you're just kind of indiscriminately killing people. How many more people need to die, need to be slaughtered before we can see the obvious? Come on, guys. I cannot stand when people gaslight me and try to make it feel, no, that's not what we're doing. It just keeps happening. That's all. No. And I don't know how anybody can cover for this. But for the American who is listening, who's going to say, this doesn't matter to me. Why are you bringing this up and this, that, and third? This is the topic. Let's just keep it real. This is the topic right now because, we fund all of this. Oh, I just care about America. America's funding this. So if you care about America, you shouldn't want this unholy alliance with a place that sucks us dry. I mean, are you guys on Twitter to see the whole, I stand with Israel. We're going to put Israeli flags in the high schools. We're going to put Israeli flags here. It's anti-Semitic to talk about Israel. It's getting to be a little weird, for lack of a better term.
Oh, okay, I'm a supermodel and a billionaire. You can't just make that statement and accept or think that we're all going to accept it and regurgitate it like propagandists like Scott Jennings do. Okay, like I need to see some evidence. And, to the credit of the Associated Press, in a story that I covered earlier, they report, Israel's saying this, but they haven't provided a shred of evidence at all. And in fact, of the people who were killed in that double tap strike, here are the names. Here's what they did. Like hospital worker, medical driver, just 5 journalists. It's just such BS. And look, Israel got away with it in the very beginning and in the middle and all the way up to maybe last week, but not anymore. I mean, we never bought it, but the whole of the US media just kind of went along with the lies.
They're going to continue to get away with it because we're going to continue to still fund them. So we will go to war with Iran if we need to, whatever they want, they still get away with it. So, I mean, shout out to, no, I'm not going to give the media a shout out who waited up till now to start finally talking about the horrendous things happening over there. Again, for the person who's saying, but it's over there, why should I care? Well, here, let me help you out, right? Fine, you don't have to care. But this pattern, we do it all the time. This is what we do. We dismantle, not we, the American citizen. I'm talking about we, the American establishment, goes in with good soldiers and dismantles a country, a nation, a state, whatever. And what do you think happens? We get the refugees. So if I can't impress upon people to care, at least for the fact that babies and stuff are being bombed, and I don't know, but all right, I'll just, I'll hold back on that. But why not care that, that we fund it and the refugees will come here? The Somalian refugees that everybody's complaining about, that's what's happened. It was us bombing their area, they come here. You know what I mean? Iraq, yeah, remember that? And why should we use soldiers to get involved with these kind of things? So that's the ripple effect, and I don't know why people can't notice that. We have no business being involved with this stuff if we have our own problems at home.
So with that in mind, let's go to our first lengthy video, I guess. This is where I just kind of lay out everything that needs to be laid out in regard to what Israel's real intentions are. I don't believe for a second that those journalists were not targeted. I think journalists are being targeted in Gaza. They're not allowing international journalists to report on the ground to enter the Gaza Strip, unless, of course, they're being accompanied by IDF soldiers. And hundreds of journalists have been slaughtered in Gaza. Every single time it happens, Netanyahu comes out and says, oh, it was a mishap. And the United States just forgets about it and moves on, continues providing more bombs. I do consider it a genocide when you have humanitarian aid workers being slaughtered, when you have every single hospital bombed, when you have the entire Gaza Strip leveled. That's not a war. A war, if you do targeted strikes and you go after the combatants. 729 magazine, an Israeli publication, obtained IDF documents showing, their data shows that 83% of the people slaughtered in Gaza are civilians. 83%. Let me say it again, 83%. How are you going to call that a war against Hamas? Let's just note for the record that as I was making my point about how Israel should be doing targeted strikes instead of leveling the entirety of the Gaza Strip, this is what Scott Jennings' face looked like. Look, when I'm on these types of panels, even when I do Piers Morgan's show, I try really hard to not do this annoying thing that other panelists do where they're I can't stand it. If I really want to make my feelings known, I just interrupt them and then I talk over them.
Well, with that said too, we're going to skip ahead to, because I wanted to see what he says about the West Bank, but that face is kind of like, what is she saying that's so wrong? And again, while they are bombing and dismantling this place, it is understood that America will come in and clean up, okay? Like, if that's the only way that I could reach people, is that we're going to go in and we're going to clean up. We're going to take people back here. People who had their homes, they didn't want to leave their homes. Why do they have to leave? Why? So it's just insane. But I just want to hear the part where she breaks down the West Bank to him and he still is just there like, oh.
Why is Israel annexing the West Bank, which of course is not governed by Hamas at all? Why are Israeli settlers allowed to just run Palestinians out of their legal homes, build thousands of illegal settlements? West Bank has nothing to do with Hamas. Why is Israel annexing it? Why did Netanyahu say that his stated goal in an interview with I-24 News, an Israeli publication, say that he has a religious need to pursue the greater Israel
I'm going to let
project?
Scott answer quickly, and then we've got to go. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
My view is this. The hostages have been there for almost 700 days. There's a reason that Hamas has not
Are you going to
released
answer
them.
her question, though?
I don't
He's
know.
not.
I don't
He's not
work for
gonna
the
answer
Israeli
that.
government.
Yeah.
It certainly sounds like you work for the Israeli government.
Right, y'all running all this cover, right? So the thing is, again, about the West Bank, when they go into the West Bank, there's no Hamas, that there's nothing to do with, we're going to go into the hostages, but they're not in the West Bank. So why are they taking people out of their homes and all of that? And by the way, again, that is supposed to be a red line for America, where we're not supposed to send them any money if they keep on expanding the settlements. They have expanded the settlements. We still send them money, and they will come here. So tell me where this is a win-win situation for Americans, and then maybe we can have a discussion. But shout out to Anna, because she did take care of Scott Jennings in this clip. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.